Hey everybody, Captain Ron here with I forgot to change my background. I'm sitting in my own personal 737 NG, which means next generation there. Eric is too newly retired. He can't afford his yet, but I'm going to let him fly mine here. So anyway, yeah, I just want to change up the scenery a little bit tonight. So welcome. This is Fearless Flight Live. You're down to the bottom of the barrel. You got me, Captain Ron Nielsen, and Eric, Captain Eric Larson. Diane, we have not heard from. She's off gallivanting, and I think we decided that we're going to at least believe she's out there working. And Dieter is still in Austria visiting his family. Go ahead.
It says recording, but it doesn't say live. Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We are on my end. So, and Eric said a remote location. He's at his brother's house, so he doesn't have the extra resources of being able to look on Facebook and see whether we get any messages or not. So call me if it's really important. I'm pretty sure Jim Duke's on there because Jim's always on there. But anyway, leave us a message. I'll go through the Facebook after the show there and talk about it. Brief show tonight. We just want to talk about two things. One, briefly, the special edition class for Orange County is underway. It started last Thursday night, and we are there. We'll be having our second webinar this coming Thursday night, just a couple nights away. And tonight, I'm going to start out. I want to go through the and talk to you about the Phoenix one, because it is on. Okay. Let me get to that slide there. So it is definitely on. We want to let everybody know we have enough people that it warrants holding a class. And so if you have any interest, by the time we get done here, you'll be able to go right over to the link and fill out the application form. And I put that in the chat box, so you'll see that link and it'll be coming up here shortly. The class the flight is actually going to be on December 11th. You can see that down there. This is the form that you'll see when you go to the link that is in the chat box there. The first module for the Phoenix. Now, what this is a 201 class online, Clear for Takeoff 201 online, just like we're doing for the folks down in Orange County. Only this one is going to be for people in Phoenix and anybody else in the world, actually, who might want to take the class, even though they might not be able to fly. And there's a discounted price for that. We've got an early bird special going on right now. We're going to run that through Friday. And then after that, it goes up to the regular price. But module one, like I said, begins on November 11th, and we're going to talk about these four things basically in the modules. Talk about the psychology of the fear of flying, and we may ramble a little bit about that because I've had some interesting coaching calls this past week. The basics of flight is coming up this next one, but that's one of the four. In module 3, we talk about coping tools and strategies more specifically, and we really get into customizing some tools for people. And then the last one is Eric and I will chair fly, and we do a mock flight for everybody to let them know what it's going to be like on the airplane. Again, module 1, these are the specific dates. They're going to be November 11th, time change, so we'll start at 6:30 Pacific. A little bit earlier for the LA folks, and then on the 18th, and then again we'll skip the week of Thanksgiving and come back on December 2nd, and then have the bonus module of mock flight on December 9th. So that'll round out the 4 modules, and then 2 days later on December 11th, we'll be flying from Phoenix to Ontario. You're going to get 6 hours of classroom instruction with Captain Ron and Captain Eric, and we're going to use our proven fearless flight method that I've been developing over the last 35 years. And you'll get everything you need to be 100% prepared for all stages of your flight. And that includes everything from checking into the airport, going through the TSA, getting to your gate boarding, door closing, turbulence, and all that other stuff that we work on. The main thing is you get the confidence you need that airplanes are safe, and more importantly for many of you, that you're safe. because many of you, the biggest issue that you have is you not feeling safe. I want to touch on that when we get down towards the end of this here. I was listening to I'll talk about it now. I was listening to a book, reading another book here from a guy, a psychiatrist specialized in neuroscience, and he likens the three parts of the brain to he said, what he says is we all got inside of us a lizard, a mouse, and a monkey in our brains. And what that means is the primitive part of our brain is related to the limbic system. And this goes back way before we had anything above that. And it is the oldest part of the brain. And it's the most primitive. It's the one that is least susceptible to change. And so that's why many of you, like I had a couple of people I talked to this week, just, walked off an airplane 20, 30 years ago and can't get back on, because that part is the part that activates and makes you feel so doggone miserable. And on top of that lizard brain, and what's the problem with the lizard is he just needs, all you can do to that lizard is just pet him, metaphorically, and comfort him, because it's the part of you that doesn't feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, ain't nothing gonna be better or gonna happen positively beyond that. Okay, so that's why knowing a lot about flying and things like we teach you is helpful, but it's often not the be all and end all to getting your confidence up to get on the airplane. You got to learn how to basically deal with those emotions until you get used to them and exposed yourself to them. Next level is the mouse. That's the mammalian brain. That's when we started to get the thing like the amygdala, which is our fight or flight, which it also has a relatively small ability to actually change, and the hippocampus, and together they regulate us, upregulate and downregulate, to some degree. So it's a little bit better than just the lizard brain, but not by much, because again, being old and primitive, it's not able to change very much with what we call neuroplasticity. And then the highest one, of course, is the monkey, and that's the primate brain. That's the fully developed one we got. And every time that we evolved, we grew about a pound of brain. So we got just over 3 pounds of brain up there, but most of the part of the brain that does all the work is the cortex, and that's the one that we work on and try to talk to ourselves and change ourselves. So I just wanted to throw that out. I thought it was fascinating to a way to talk about it. This is your crew there. Let's see, Eric, we didn't have Eric in the picture that day, but Eric's going to be with us. We're going down to Orange County for this one, and then this will be the same group that we're going to fly out of Phoenix. We just bought our tickets today, and I'm going to talk about that right now. I went over there literally just a couple of days ago. It was somewhere upwards of 67 and 87 bucks per leg, much more expensive. And then today I thought, well, I'll just check to make sure, since I'm committed, I might as well get my ticket. And sure enough, man, I couldn't believe it. They dropped the ticket to 49 bucks each way. So everybody who's sent me an application form so far now has the flight information. I just sent out the emails before the show tonight. So if you want to get on this train, you need to hop on the bandwagon, or at least go over and buy your tickets right away. And this is what I captured, 49. And I told Eric, I said, Eric, hey, we better buy our tickets here. And I was waiting for his birthday to put that in there. And I'll be darned, in an hour and a half or 2 hours, I went back in there and they'd raised both the prices to 67 bucks. I just left this site open on my computer, and that just goes to show you how absolutely cunning and smart those algorithms are for the airlines. So what I did, I thought, okay, I'll try and outsmart them doing end runs. So what I did, I opened up an incognito window in my browser, and I was able to get one of them at 49 that didn't recognize me. Because what happens is they recognize you, and they figure the more times you go here to the well, the more interested you are. Just like if you wait till you get close to the date of the flight, they figure you got to fly. So the price keeps going. And you can see up here, the $49 fare is ultimately going to become $109 or more by the time we get there. And anyway, so that's why you want to get it early. But anyway, I was able to capture Eric's ticket, one for 49 and one for 69.
And Ron, for the record,
yeah.
I wasn't ignoring you. I was in the dentist's office, and the dentist is one of my favorite guys, and he's a Navy guy. And that's the only reason I wasn't talking to you, is because I was in the dentist's office watching TV on the roof.
Oh, I likely sorry. Like he had his foot in your mouth. I'm just kidding. Okay.
He did.
All right. Well, so tell him to take $20 off the bill next time, because it costs us $20.
I'll talk to him. I won't mention anything about the Air Force Academy.
There you go. All right. So we got our minimum 10 students. You can bring coaching companions. We get about half the class this time bringing coaches and companions, which is great. And again, we're a go for November and December for this class. Regular price, not including airfare, $497. Tuition for the non-flying students, the early bird special is $397. Okay, and that ends this Friday night, October 15th. And then if you're not flying, then we knock that off to $297. So we'll take $100 off each of the prices there. And if you got a coach or companion, it's $97 for that. So please, if you have any interest at all, not only fill out that form that I put the link in the chat box in, and also get over and get your tickets, because you don't want to wait too long. Because in December, typically, there's more traffic in December anyway. So this is just for them to fill up seats on flights that are not available right now. And as they get more popular, they'll be not available. This is on flights that haven't been filled up yet, and so they'll keep it down a little bit.
We're away from the holidays, and so we should have a good light loads and a great chance to talk with everybody who's on the airplane with us.
Right. And so after Thanksgiving, there's a little bit of a lull in traffic, and then it jumps right back up, because the holidays is the busiest time of the year for the airlines. So in terms of passenger traffic. So again, the 4 modules, we're going to talk about psychology of fair flying, basics of flight, everything you want everyone to know about how an airplane operates and why it stays in the air. Coping tools and strategies, which is useful for you to actually start practicing. And then we're going to do a chair fly. Eric and I are going to lead you through things to expect and help you manage your expectations there. Again, the module will start on November 11th. This is working out really well for the class that I'm doing in Orange County right now. Next week, then the following week, the 18th, and then we'll skip a week over Thanksgiving and start back up on December 2nd. And then the mock flight on December 9th with the flight on the 11th. Once I get your application form, I'll send you an email out with all the details and all that, and I'll personally contact you just to make sure you want to go, and then I'll follow that up with an invoice via PayPal there. So, and if you want installment payments, please, there's a box even to check for that. So let me know on that. Okay, so click on that embedded link in the chat box there, and it looks like this. That's a little bit harder to memorize there, but anyway, I got it at the bottom of the screen here, and if once you go to that, click on that link in the chat box, it'll take you to a page here with the title slide here, and then down here it's hard to see, it says start. So that's where you start, and it just walks you through each screen, answering or asking you questions so that we can get you flying with this. Okay, so that's the bulk of what I want to talk about tonight. Had people that I've been coaching this week. One fella hadn't flown in decades. He said at least 2, and he happened to be someone who he wasn't a first responder, but he was involved with all the people who cleaned up the site at 9/11. Very traumatic. Yeah. And it totally traumatized him. And he's watched his fear, hadn't been on an airplane since. He's watched his fear just magnify. And that's what happens when, with as time goes on, people just get more and more freaked out about that. So Eric and I are gonna do our best to give you our best shot. And so if you want to fly, which turns out a lot of people do, and if you're not in the Orange County class, then please sign up for the Phoenix class. And again, if you can't be in Phoenix on December 11th, no worry. It's still, the class is still worth the price of admission, and we'll be offering it at a discount for anybody who wants to take it. And we have several people that signed up for the class in Orange County.
Ron, if I can interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm not a paid shill, I'm an unpaid shill, but the whole COVID thing has altered everything. And the way we used to do these classes was cramming everything into a weekend or even a day and a half. And now when we do these podcasts where we can interact with you, you'll get to know us and realize that we are complete quacks. And we'll get to know you, and we'll have a big connection going where we've been able to answer a lot of your questions and spend a lot of time with you before we show up at the airport. We're going to have a lot more time with you, and you'll be much more comfortable with us. And I'm pretty excited about this working very well, and I have minimal head shrinking skills, but I think this is a great deal and a great time to jump on because of these ticket prices. And we're batting in the 900s of getting you over the bridge. And if this is a bridge you want to go over, I hope you'll take a chance with us.
Yeah, speaking of bridges, this poor fellow, with that, one of the things that he notices now he gets stuck on a bridge, he goes crazy. So it's all about control. It's about not being able to, not knowing what's going on, not being able to predict what's going on, and those are the issues we work on. And like Eric said, it's the webinars are surprisingly intimate. Everybody starts out, nobody wants to talk, pretty much, but people loosen up, and we have breakout room activities so that you can get some individual time with others out there, and it really works out well.
You'll meet the people you're going to be flying with, and you'll really bond. You'll feel, as they say, you'll feel their pain too. They're in the same boat as you are.
Yeah, and unlike before COVID, where the people that were, the comfort level for people doing video conferencing was really, really low. Now, man, everybody's pretty much been Zoomized, and so there's a lot greater comfort doing that, a lot less resistance doing it. So it's really helpful, and so jump on that link if you want to go over and let me know that you're interested, and I'll be backing you up with that. So let's see. I don't have much else tonight. The one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was Southwest. We were talking about what's going on with Southwest over there. They had basically 5 days of well, they certainly got their name in the papers in the wrong column for having to cancel a lot of flights. And, we talked about that. You mentioned specifically that one of the problems post-COVID is getting everybody up to speed and all that. And the one thing I was thinking about that we might talk just briefly about is the difference in Southwest system. Southwest is the only airline that from its inception started out point to point. So they'll come to Phoenix, go to Orange County, then jump up to Oakland, then maybe back to LA and spend the night or something like that. Whereas American, you'll hub at Phoenix. So you might come from somewhere in the East to Phoenix, and then we'll put you on another airplane to Orange County or another airplane to Oakland. And one of the things I remember from 9/11 is that Southwest had a lot harder time flexing and reducing the number of departures. You remember that, Eric?
Yes.
Because the hub and spoke lends itself to that, whereas they're point to point. And I was just wondering if point to point might be having something to do with that, the fact that they can't lean them out. Yeah, and if they lose critical points,
it's a lot of the problems everybody's having, and the papers all jump on the vaccine thing, and that's one deal, but everybody's working as hard as they can.
Yeah.
The company scheduling is pulling their hair out. They're trying to train people as fast as possible, but Southwest, where they had this deal that was an asset, is now kind of disadvantaged with the point to point to point to point. So if there's one hiccup anywhere, the downline pain of the next station, the next station, the next station is much exacerbated over what the other airlines feel.
Yeah, and just as an example of that, if you're interested at all, is like, so say for Southwest is the flight that comes into Phoenix, then goes to Orange County, then on up to Oakland, as I said, and Oakland's another hub. So if something goes wrong here and that airplane can't go, it not only messes with the leg to Orange County, it messes with the leg to Oakland, and they can't get it back through the system to put the airplane back in service if it was a service problem or if it was a crew problem. So they have fewer options basically once the system starts to break down. And I mean, they got a lot of experience over the years doing that, but with COVID and with the crew shortages and things like that, it shows up in her. That's kind of what my bet is.
I think you're exactly right. It's a tightly scheduled stream of dominoes.
Yeah.
And there isn't any slop time or slack time in there. And so they take the wins when they get the wins, but then when they have the pain like this, the pain is bad.
Yeah. So anyway, well, maybe we can turn that into a cheaper fare if they have to get some business back there. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had to talk about tonight. I wanted to emphasize talk about a little bit about the class that's going on, and particularly trying to put out some interest for the class that's coming up in December. That's going to be the last one this year. And while we are planning to repeat this model in other cities next year, we think it'd be a great opportunity, particularly if your holiday flying is going to be done over Christmas and you've had anything to hold you back. This would be a great time to get back in the air there. So anyway, Eric,
he's exactly right. And don't do what we would do, which is procrastinate. This is a super good time to jump in with us, and we would love to have you.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's all from Eric and Ron for tonight. Jump in the chat box, check that link out, and we hope to see you in class on November 11th. So anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, Eric, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Fearless Flight Live, if I can find the place to get us out of here. All right, take care. Bye-bye.